Hey fam, good night. Welcome to at this ungodly hour. This is Come. Um, Tonight, I want us to think about why is it that people do things that are detrimental to them? Why is it that people do things that they know for a fact, not doubting them? It has been proven that these things are detrimental, whether to their physical health, mental health, financial health, social health, their family life, all of that. People do things that are detrimental to them, and they keep doing it over and over again. Not for lack of warning, not for lack of seeing what it does to other people, not for lack of having done it before and suffered the consequences themselves and still at it. I want us to think about that tonight. Are you one of those persons who just have a bad habit or several bad habits that you just can't seem to shake, you can't seem to break them, even though you know it's gradually deteriorating your health or deteriorating your relationships, whether family life, intimate relationships, co-workers, your friends, classmates. Why is it that we keep doing these things? That's what I want to look at, right? And we're going to talk about how the powers that be who offer certain things to us, they are very brazen, and over the years they have become more and more brazen and barefaced. And in my opinion, it must be because they know that you either can't stand yourself, you despise yourself, and so you're going to continue doing the thing, even though they're holding up these banners in front of your face. They themselves are telling you that this is detrimental to you. The reason why I decided to talk about this, I was doing my laps this morning. So, as I usually do, so I was walking along the road and I saw something on the ground, right? So when I came close, I realized what it was. It was an empty cigarette carton. Right? Empty cigarette carton. And I know that for years and years and years, the cigarette companies have been mandated to put on their labels the fact that the Surgeon General warns that smoking is dangerous to the health, right? This is nothing new. But what struck me about this particular box of cigarettes was that there was an image on the box, and I'm going to show you the box in a minute, right? I'm going to show you a picture of the box. This particular carton had an image of someone in the hospital, so on the hospital bed with the ventilator mask over his face, gasping for air. This very visual image, right, of somebody in the hospital, probably have COPD or asthma or bronchitis or some other, or probably end stage lung cancer as a result of smoking the cigarettes that came in the box. I'm going to show you that box. Right. I edited the pic so that it doesn't have the name. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. It doesn't have, I took out the name because that's not really important, right? Oh, so before the cigarette box. So what you're seeing actually is so I decided to do this part first, right? Okay, so this is a label of a juice container, or let's say a drink container, right? A beverage container. As you can see at the top, it says contains no juice. No juice in this. All right, so you're buying this, it's a beverage that you're gonna drink. It has no juice, and they're telling you that. So fat 0%, carb 16%, sodium 2%. This protein 0%. Now you can see the fruits and you see the orange there. The picture of the orange, even though it's telling you there is absolutely no fruit, no juice in this beverage. The only thing really you're gaining from this is sugar, right? 86% added sugars. So this is pretty much sugar and water, of course, with a little flavoring, artificial flavoring. No real juice anywhere to be seen. And you would pay typically 100 and something Jamaican dollars, maybe 200 Jamaican dollars for this beverage. Pretty much just buying water, a tubes of salt, sugar, and coloring. And here we have another, see, contains 0% juice, pretty much the same thing. 0 fat, 8 grams of sugar, no protein. This is brazen. When a manufacturer is going to sell you a can or a bottle of sugar and water with some coloring and pass that off as a beverage and write it on the label, the manufacturer is either thinking that you don't care enough about what you're putting into your body to even read the label, or maybe the manufacturer is assuming that you can't read and don't care to read. Even if you can read, you just don't care enough. So even if they are brazen enough, as they are mandated to put the label there to tell you exactly what you're getting, and they're telling you you're getting sugar, water, and coloring, that's what you're getting. That's what you're calling a beverage, and you're going to pay money to consume. So let me go now to the cigarette. So this is the label. It says, warning, smoking causes slow and painful death from cancer and other diseases, Chief Medical Officer. And this is a visual image of somebody in the hospital, strung up, can't breathe on his own, has to be on a ventilator, more than likely suffering from some chronic lung ailment, possibly lung cancer, because this is what it's saying, right? Blatantly, this is the front of the box. warning in red. Smoking causes slow and painful death from cancer. This is the empty box. I took this pic to show you that this is how I found the box. Completely empty, even with this on it. Slow and painful death. The box was completely empty and discarded, right? The label also went on to say, smoke from this product contains extremely addictive nicotine and toxic substances such as tar and carbon monoxide. No safe levels of consumption exist for this product. Chief Medical Officer. Do you hear that? I'm sure the person who bought this box of cigarettes didn't even bother to read this. I am pretty sure. But look at how striking the image is. The image, when most people will ignore words, images are striking, right? But the words are important too. It says, smoke from this product contains extremely addictive nicotine and toxic substances such as tar and carbon monoxide. No safe level of consumption. Nothing, no amount of, if you just take one puff, that's not a safe level of consumption. No safe level of consumption exists for this product. The chief medical officer is warning. And what? People still buy it because, and we're going to look at what could be the reason. We're going to look at that. What could be the reason why people still feel obliged, forced to buy this box of cigarettes and smoke every single one, even with this warning that smoking causes slow and painful death from cancer and other diseases. See, they're empty box. Empty box on the ground, right? So, is it that we just don't care? We just don't care about ourselves? People can put big warning labels and tell you exactly the detriment that's going to come to you, and you still go ahead. Is that where we're at? Do you despise yourself when you do this? What do you say? For the smokers, if you're a smoker, if you're somebody who smokes cigarettes or anything else for that matter, tell me, do you read the label on the cigarette carton? And if you never read it before, now that you've seen, and particularly this carton where they actually have someone on the cover, the person to me looked already dead, if you ask me. But let's say still clinging to life, finding it difficult to breathe, having to be on a ventilator. Smokers, tell me, knowing this, how is it that you are still able to bring yourself to buy? I know it's addiction. And with addiction comes compulsion. Yes, I know that. But addictions can be broken. My uncle, one of my uncles, He was a chain smoker. Smoke, use one cigarette like the other. One cigarette like the other, right? And he quit smoking. You know why he quit smoking? And he quit maybe 20 odd years ago. He quit. And he had been smoking for probably another 20, 30, 40 years. He had been smoking, right? He's in his early 70s now. The reason why he quit smoking was he had a friend who was a doctor, very close friend of his. And the doctor smoked heavily, just like him, right? The doctor smoked because the doctor used to have that relaxed attitude too. I said, well, something I got carry out in us, so we might as well enjoy it, right? But you see, when his doctor friend was diagnosed with lung cancer, and my uncle, when he got to late stage, end stage, and my uncle visited him in the hospital and saw what he had to go through, what his doctor friend and all the medical studies he had done in his life and his years of practice couldn't save him. And my uncle saw what his doctor friend was going through. He quit cold turkey, no phase in, no phase out, just quit. It can be done. It can be done. I really would want the smokers to tell me, do you honestly feel helpless? You feel like you just can't stop? Or do you feel like it won't happen to you? You have a strong constitution, your parents live long, their parents live long, your family members live long, so you go and live long regardless of what you do. Is that the attitude you have? How is it that you bring yourself to do something so detrimental to yourself in face of all the evidence and the warning that this is what is likely to happen? Likewise, for the alcoholics, you know what the result will be. You have been told, you see it on TV, you hear it in the jingles, in the advertisements. Nobody hides it. The damage to the liver and the damage to the other organs and your nervous system. How alcohol, even just when you drink alcohol, it makes you, not only does it make you less responsive, right? Your reflexes less responsive, but it takes away your inhibitions, and your inhibitions are what are there to guide you and to give you that moral compass. Now, why would you deliberately remove your inhibitions, which is is your natural way of regulating your social interactions? I remember there was a comic strip, the Lockhorns. When I was little, I used to collect comic strips, and the Lockhorns were one of my favorite comic strips. Leroy and his wife always at each other, right? So in one of them, Leroy said, so he went out and he got drunk, totally wasted. And in the morning, of course, he was having a hangover. So his wife was standing over him, and she said, "What's the use of having a great time if you don't remember that you had a great time? What's the use of going out there all night? You had a great time, but you have no memory of it, no recollection of it. You're in a hangover, everything gone out of your head. What is the purpose of it?" Your inhibitions are there. They are your friends. Your inhibitions are your friends. Don't chase them away with alcohol. I don't want, as Chronic say, me no want drunk till me can't get up. Me no want drunk till me can't get up. I don't want to lose my faculties. I don't want to lose my ability to discern, to be aware of my environment and who is around me and their intentions. I don't want to lose. Why would you want to give up that ability? I could never understand it. Why people deliberately get drunk. I just I've never been drunk. I don't know what it's like. I've never been high. So those who have been there, maybe you can tell me why you think it's worth it. Why is it worth it? And you know full well what the consequences will be. Whether um drop down by the roadside, too drunk to walk, too drunk to navigate yourself home, or people rob you because you don't even know what's happening, or people drug you, take advantage of your body, get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Is it worth it? Is that feeling that you have in the moment, is it worth all of that? I can't see it. Maybe you can explain it to me, how it's worth it. There are other things. I made a list. I'm the list maker, right? So I made a list. I'm running down the list of things that people do that are detrimental to them. And in spite of all the stories they hear about things gone wrong, or when things go wrong, for example, those who do cosmetic surgery, and a lot of these cosmetic surgery, they are totally unnecessary. They're just cosmetic. You just do it because you want to boost your ego, you want to boost it's superficial, most of it. Gender reassignment, we have seen how persons who have gone through gender reassignment and they regret it. Some of these procedures are irreversible. You can't go back, you can't retract. Some of the procedures are irreversible. And even the ones that are reversible, it's just not the same as how you naturally were. It's not the same. If you remove your breasts and then down the line you change your mind and you want back breasts, it's not the same breast that you had. You're going to get silicone or some other artificial material in there. It's not the same as your breasts. I've seen several videos with men remove their penis, get artificial vagina, and a lot of things go wrong. A lot of things can go wrong with that. And they regret it. A lot of persons regret it. So it has to be something that you research carefully, extensively. Don't rush into these kinds of things. As it regards the cosmetic surgery and the gender reassignment, it's a personal decision, but don't take it lightly. You have to do your research. You have to find persons who have done it before on both sides. Those who did it and it was successful and they have no regrets, but also look at those who did it and it wasn't, even if it was successful, they have regrets. And sometimes it wasn't successful and they have even more regrets. You have to do your research and be informed. Don't just go with the flow, and because you hear such and such a person did it and they had a good time, that doesn't mean that will be your experience. So you have to be prepared, arm yourself with information. For the persons who abuse drugs, you know, drugs on a whole, they are addictive, right? That's it. That's the issue with them. And you can be addicted on the first go. The first time you try it, you can be hooked. So for the slogans to be out there, with just say no, just say no, it's difficult for some people, easier for some. But if you put yourself in a city, you can put yourself in situations where it's more difficult than other situations. You get what I'm saying? You can make yourself vulnerable to becoming a drug addict by the situations you put yourself in, by what you expose yourself to, by the company that you keep. You can make yourself more susceptible to it. And for those persons who, the drug mules, the ones who either swallow or insert pellets to transport drugs overseas or cross borders. I mean, to me, you have to be on a level of this is self hatred. No amount of money, in my opinion, this is my opinion, of course, no amount of money is worth the risk that you're taking. First of all, there's a risk of death. If the pellets burst inside you, so you're thinking that these persons swallow pellets, any number of pellets, and these are huge enough pellets, right? In the intestines for a 3-hour flight, 4-hour flight, there is a chance that the pellets were not packaged properly, or just the caustic nature of the intestines, the stomach acid, all of those things acting on it, the movement of the pellets, the peristalsis, all of that can cause rupture. And if it rupture inside you, you're gone. What risk is worth taking? How much money is that worth risking your life? I watched a movie. What was the name of that movie? Maria, Full of Grace. Maria, Full of Grace. So this young lady, she was from Colombia, very very poor, and her family was in a crisis. She actually was pregnant. Just found out she was pregnant, and she decided somebody convinced her to try being a drug mule, and eventually she got connected with another young lady who had done it all several times, and she was able to buy her house and car and whatever. So she said, okay, I'll try it, because obviously it works because you did it and you're able to do all of that. And they swallowed the pellets, took the plane to America, and one of the pellets ruptured inside. The lady, the girl the professional, the one who had been doing it all the time, it burst inside her. She didn't die immediately, but when they got through customs and got into the car of the drug lords who were waiting, she died en route to the house. and they just ripped her stomach apart and removed the pellets. These persons who operate in drugs, they are ruthless. Your life means nothing to them. You are just a means to an end. And usually it is an end, right? It is not worth it. And if you do it, it indicates that you have no value on your life. Now, when we talk about food, some of the food that we eat, as I showed you the two labels a while ago for the beverages, right? And it goes on to the foods that we eat. When you really think about it and you look at what we're putting in our bodies, you really have to ask the question, do we love ourselves? Do we cherish and honor ourselves as sacred beings? Do we cherish and honor our bodies as sacred vessels that we occupy? Think about the things that you pump into your body on a daily basis, the things that we call food. Sometimes you need to take some time and read the labels because, like I said, these people are brazen, they are blatant because they know that you either don't care to read the labels or you don't care, full stop. So even if you read the label and know what's on it, you're still going to put it in your body because you don't care. You don't love yourself. So they don't mind telling you. They don't mind at this point, they don't mind spelling it out to you what exactly they have in there because they figure that you actually either can't read, in which case they're saying you're dumb, or you don't read, which they're also saying you're dumb, or you read but you ignore the signs because for whatever reason you don't think it's that important. You don't think it's that urgent for you to address. Think about it. If they can put on the label, sometimes, like if you take up the infant formulas, I've done this with several infant formulas, right? As we call them, baby feed. That's what I call them. If you take up the infant formulas and look at the label, one time I think I counted 70 something ingredients. And I'm saying this is made for infants, zero to, let's say, zero to a year, 0 to 12 months old. And it is so condensed with 73 different things. And when you're looking at the chemicals in there, you can't even pronounce some of the words. I'm saying, what is all of this that they're pumping in the babies? If you take up some of the stuff that you buy, just when you go in the supermarket next time, just read, or when you get home and you're unpacking, read the labels, because I know some of us, we don't even. When was the last time you read a label? When was the last time when you bought prescription drugs? When was the last time you read that little pamphlet, that little leaflet inside the prescription drug? Have you ever read one of them? Show your hand. Have you ever read one of those leaflets that comes in the whatever you buy, whether it's medicine, liquid medicine, tablets, pill, capsule, ointment, whatever it is. When was the last time you took out that leaflet and read it and looked at the side effects that they're blatantly telling you that if you take this medication, this is what is likely to happen to you? As a matter of fact, you don't even have to read it again, because guess what? When they're advertising the medication, because nowadays they don't even wait for you to go into the doctor's office and the doctor prescribe it. Nowadays, they're advertising it so that, and they're telling you go and research and ask your doctor. That's what they're telling you now. Next time you visit your doctor, ask your doctor about this or ask your doctor about that. And then now they start to reel out the side effects. They list them out. You can hear it. So for those who don't read, you don't even have to, you're not missing anything again, come to think of it. On the advertisements, whether it's on television or radio or on social media, these prescription drug advertisements, they're encouraging you. You must go tell your doctor that you want to try this, because they know that we have become such hypochondriacs that we self-diagnose. We go on Google and we type in our symptoms and we diagnose ourselves. So they're encouraging you next time to go and tell your doctor that you want to try this drug. And then they reel out. So you're going to take this drug for anxiety or mild depression. And the drug, the side effects are this drug that you're taking for anxiety and depression is likely to make you anxious and depressed and suicidal, probably homicidal. The drug that you're gonna take for what? Headache. By the time them don't read the side effects, you're likely to have headache, belly ache, backache, stomach ache, foot ache, pocket ache, not to mention that one, pocket ache, diarrhea of the pocket, because they're so expensive. But because they know that you don't care, you don't consider, you don't evaluate things, you just go with the flow and do what you're told, they don't mind telling you to your face, if you take this medication, you might die, but go and tell your doctor that you want to try it. And the price is gonna kill your pocket too, just so you know. We have to really stop and think about what we do, why we do it. Don't just go through life like a sheep and not reflect about your actions. Another thing that we have a tendency to do, well, I know I don't do it, but a lot of us, we tend to admire those who go against the law, the outlaws. Now, in Jamaica, we claim that we are totally fed up with the level of crime and violence. Everybody will tell you, they will tell you, we're totally fed up. We've had it with crime and violence, and the government is not doing anything to stem, to put a cap on the crime and the violence. But sometimes when you hear the average Jamaican, When you hear the average Jamaican talk about villains, like they just did something, came on the news, everybody up in arms. But when you listen to how they talk about the actions, it tells you that they admire these people. They admire the outlaws. You hear them talk about why the man them do this and the man them do that, and then see the man them do that, and the man them running pan the man them. These is like is they're respecting these persons when they commit the crimes and the violent acts. They are admired. It would seem the way people talk about them. It's you hear the admiration, you hear the respect. They're not saying anything um, in reproach. They're talking about the actions with admiration. And it's like they don't see that they themselves are likely to become victims. If the outlaws are doing it to somebody else, they are likely to do it to you. So you have to reproach them. You have to talk out against it, not admire it and talk as if you're aspiring and you're living vicariously through them. To me, when people do these things, when people buy cartons of cigarettes that have near dead persons on it in ventilators, and it says, this is what it will happen to you if you buy this cigarette, and people go and buy it and finish the carton. When people go and buy alcohol and they know the consequences, when people do these things, to me, is a number of causes, and one of those causes is low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. You don't value yourself. You don't think you're worthy of anything better. And so you just let go. You just go with what your cronies are doing. You don't care about the consequences, right? Um, how do you build esteem? Well, each person's esteem is tied to different things. So if you feel that, if you know in yourself you can do more, and all your life you've been settling for less, your self-esteem will be low because you're not going to respect yourself, because you know you can put out so much more. So the person who lives below their potential, they are not going to respect themselves. So that person would have to try now to raise the bar for themselves. Push yourself to do what you know you're capable of doing, and then you will build your esteem, because other persons will show that they respect you, and that will trickle down. It will boost your own esteem. Take care of your health, make changes that will benefit your physical health, your emotional health. Remove yourself from the influence of those who live a certain way. You have to take your, as the song said, take away yourself. Take away yourself. Because the influence is strong and it takes willpower to resist. And especially when you're just starting off on a new road, on a new footing, you need that support system that's positive. You need to take yourself from the environment that will bring you back down, pull you back down into the bad behavior. If you hang around smokers and alcoholics, it's gonna be very, very difficult for you to, almost impossible for you to break. the habits, because they're always going to encourage you. You're sitting in a group of smokers, they're going to be passing around a spliff, passing around a cigarette, and they expect you to share in that communal exchange. If you hang around alcoholics and you know you're prone to it, you have a weakness for it, they're going to encourage you to take a sip. Everybody is everybody get mellow, everybody get rowdy, and you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, and they're going to encourage you to take a sip, just one little sip, until they wheel you back into it. If you hang around people who all they eat is junk, you're going to be enticed to share. So if you want to make changes in your life, one of the first things you have to do is remove yourself from the company of people who are doing the bad habits that you want to break from, and surround yourself with people who are doing the good things that you aspire to, so that you will be motivated to continue. Another thing that makes people do engage in detrimental behavior is this slogan, the YOLO slogan. You only live once. A lot of people use that to justify their bad behavior. Well, I'm just here one time. I need to enjoy this life. I need to be wild. I need to sow my oats. I need to experiment with as many things as I can. I spoke to this lady once. She said, I'm willing to try everything once. I have some people have that attitude, you know. She said, I'm willing to try everything once. And then somebody else might say, well, I'll also try it twice, just to prove that it was really as bad as I thought. Yeah, you have some people, they'll try everything once, and you have some, they'll try it twice as well, to just to check if it was really that bad. You only live once, so to them that means try all the bad things, so that at the end of it you can say, well, I lived a full life. I lived a full life. I made mistakes, but I did everything. I tried everything. The only thing is, some of these things that you try, they are the ones that take you out prematurely. This attitude that I'm going to die one day, so I might as well enjoy myself. And to you, enjoying yourself mean exposing yourself to danger, exposing yourself to risky behavior and risky people. uh, Get rich or die trying. And this get rich quick mentality, especially that the young persons have, it makes you willing to do things. It makes you willing to do things that you otherwise would not do. This notion that, I need to be rich, and the position I'm in now, if I just keep doing that regular thing I'm doing now, I'm not going to get rich. Because you see, maybe you never take any lessons, you never position yourself academically to earn that. So now the reality hits you and you decide that, well, I still want to be rich, so I'm gonna do X, Y, Z so that it can happen. And the X, Y, Z can put you in some very detrimental situations, right? Some very detrimental situation. You find yourself bending backwards and bending forwards too, in order to accommodate the lifestyle that you think you deserve but you never really worked for. So now you have to do other things for. I have the other day I wrote something on my Facebook page. Let me try and remember what it says. It went something like, um, you either, how did it go? Basically, I was saying in life, you have to earn your keep, right? You have to do something to earn money to pay for the things that need to be paid for in life. You're either going to do it with your brain, with your back, or with your booty. Yeah. It's either gonna be to earn your keep in life, you're either going to do it with your back, so you have to do manual labor with your back, with your brain, or with your booty. And those who bypass the brain thing because they can't be bothered, the book thing just too difficult for them, okay, but then they're lazy. So the back thing, the back thing now work for them either because they don't want to put their back into it. They don't want to do the manual labor. They're lazy, so they end up have to use their booty, male or female. So this YOLO thing, we need to check it. You only live once, but yeah, we only live once, but you can live longer if you adopt certain principles and follow certain guidelines in life, right? Another attitude that people have that make them expose themselves to detrimental behavior is this feeling that it won't happen to them, especially Jamaicans. Jamaicans especially feel like they are special, they are different, and they are going to be able to do the things that other people do. Other people do it and get caught, but the Jamaicans won't get caught. Other people break the rules and they get into trouble. The Jamaican feel that they won't get into trouble. They won't die. They won't get sick. They won't get caught. It's a thing that we have, a mentality that we have. It won't happen to me. So you feel like you're going to be able to smoke as much as you want and you'll be fine. You can drink as much as you want. We tell ourselves we can hold the liquor. We can hold the liquor. We can abuse drugs and bad food as much as you want. You can bleach, as we call it. Bleach mean you set up all night, you're there at the party, you're there at the club, you're drinking, you're doing all kind of thing. They feel like they can keep up this lifestyle forever and ever and ever, amen, without consequences. And then when they touch 35, 40, 45, and the reality seeps in that things that used to work don't work anymore, certain functions don't function anymore, and the reality sets in. The reality sets in that, hey, it's the same rules go for me as for everybody else, right? Some people feel that their back is against the wall. They feel desperate. They feel like they have no choice. So I can understand if you're born into a certain situation, you don't have any control over where you were born, the family you were born in, the community you were born in. You have no control over that, right? And some persons are born into situations that are really desperate and they feel like they have no choice but to do certain things to earn their keep. And I can understand that, but trust me, there's always a way out. Put your mind to it. Tell yourself, say, this is not the only way. Keep thinking, keep seeking helps, keep seeking guidance, and you will find a way out. And I'm urging all of us to be more conscientious about the things that we do. Don't be afraid to read. Don't be afraid to pay attention to the signs, the warnings that are given to us, because you have people out there who it almost seems like it's just a blatant in your face disregard to say, yeah, I know you're an idiot, so I'm gonna blatantly smear the message across the label. And I know you're either not going to read it or you're going to read it and don't care. So you're still gonna buy this thing that I'm selling to you. You're still gonna use this thing that I'm telling you is going to kill you. You're still gonna do it because I know you despise yourself. That to me is what they're saying. Is it true? You decide if it's true for you. That's where we'll end tonight, of course. Tomorrow we'll be back with another topic. So I'll see you then. Take care of yourself and remember, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.